you know, we cannot do any other thing apart from playing soccer. So we put in our all, but there are people, there's a structure. And if, I mean, a part of it doesn't function well, then the expected results doesn't normally come. Really difficult because people expected, you know, people forget that we are two different people, two different personalities. You know, even identical twins are not the same. You know, there are certain traces that you not find in the other. And because Pele was so good, you know, people expected me to be close, you know. But, you know, my own opinion, I had to come into self-realization that if you don't become strong mentally, people will bring you down because of all things that they write in the papers and what they say and all that stuff, you know. So just be yourself, be Kwame, which wasn't easy, because even if I perform well, before when you get the newspapers, the next day it's like Ghana, the second goal or the third goal or the first goal that was scored by the younger brother of Abedi Pele, before my name comes, Kwame Ayew, which is, it's not bad to have a brother like Abedi, you know, that they mention, I mean, your name and his name together. It's not bad. But on the other hand, people expected me to play, to have the skill like Abedi, and there was no way I don't think probably in the next century that in Ghana, we're gonna have a player like Abedi. It's not easy to compare oneself to Abedi. I want to go into sports medicine. That is, go back to school, you know, because like I said earlier, lots of my colleagues had to stop football because of injuries that are treatable, you know, and we don't have people like that here, like into sports medicine, who really, even if we have, they can't, most of my colleagues cannot afford, you know, they couldn't afford, so it brings careers to an abrupt end. And I want to help. That is what I think I can give back. People talk about coaching and sports academies and everything. There are other people doing that, you know. That is not what I really want to do. I want to help, because injuries that are treated, that would take about 2 weeks to be treated, takes 3-4 months in Ghana, you know, which is not doing any good to either the teams or the players. I want to say thanks to God first, then my parents, and to Abedi Pele Ayew, his wife Maha Kaldi, for all what they did for me, and the love that they showed me, and also coaches like Coach Paha, Fwais, Coach Samadi. It's one friend of mine, Baba Hai in Tamale, and Afa Seidu, also in Tamale. Well, there are so many people that if I want to mention names, I think I'll be here till next year. But anyone watching this, if you know you have played any part, whether small or big. On my way up, I extend my thanks to you, and hopefully I'll also be able to help people like you guys have helped me out.
Welcome to another edition of Sports Icon. Hope you enjoyed the editions that featured Ahmed Barroso and Richard Olele Kinson. Today is the turn of Kwame Ayew. Welcome to another edition of Sports Icon. Hope you enjoyed the editions that featured Ahmed Barroso and Richard Olele Kinson. Today is the turn of Kwame Ayew. Enjoy yourselves.
Emotia. Am I lyrically rude and bad aesthetically on the last two flavor?
Last two, that's right.
Sayatun Tadia Yukacha. Oh, Fabu Muda. Sayatun Tadia Yukacha. Oh, Fabu Muda. What do you
My name is Ambassador George M. Weah. Whenever I'm in Ghana, I watch Net 2 television. Keep watching.
Kwame Ayew, a former top scorer of the national team, the Black Stars, comes from a family of talented footballers, which includes soccer maestro Abedi Ayew Pele. Kwame has had 18 years of successful professional football career, which began in 1989 with African Sports of Cote d'Ivoire. He has showcased his goal-scoring prowess in several countries, which includes France, Italy, China, and Portugal, where he considers as his second home. Off the pitch, Kwame, a staunch believer of Christ Jesus, worships regularly with the Vineyard Church at Denta in Accra.
I tell you, he's one person. He is serious. Whenever he's in town, in the morning he will come, in the afternoon he will come. I mean, basically, God is his everything. He will leave his people and come to church. I mean, he knows that without God, he wouldn't have been able to get where he is. So he doesn't actually joke with the Lord at all. He's a very committed and a strong Christian. I believe that after his career, one of the things that he would want to do, apart from whatever he wants to do, is to help evangelize the world. I call him soccer evangelist. Anytime he's on the pitch, he's evangelizing for goals. So I call him soccer evangelist. So I believe that after the career, one of the things he want to add to whatever he want to do, whether in business, whether in school, whatever he want to do, I know that evangelism has a place in his heart. So that's what I know. He's very committed Christian, very, very serious. I haven't seen some before, but since Kwame started playing, he still plays the first top in Portugal now. He still plays, and then he was instrumental preventing their team to go on a relegation. He scored that goal, and then jubilating. Some of them collapsed, and some of them were crying. So it is God. God renewed his strength every day. He renewed his strength every morning. So he hasn't even finished his contract, and then as you are said, as his old still contracts are awaiting him.
Kwame believes in cultivating friendships, and one of his closest pals is former World, European and African Footballer of the Year and a former Liberian presidential candidate, Ambassador George Oponwia, a friendship he has maintained for nearly 20 years.
It was, I think, exactly 20 years ago, when 20 years ago, yeah, when the Liberian war started, and I had come from school. By then, I was living with my brother Pele, and he was in France by then. So I was sitting in Alaju. I was sitting in front of the house, and I saw a woman and two guys walk towards the house. He mentioned his name and introduced Ware's mom to me, and said, "Oh, they've just come from Abidjan. They escaped the war and went to Abidjan, and they've come to Ghana, and they're looking for Abedi." So she said they had nowhere to sleep. They just come, and they were even holding their bags. So George couldn't reach them because they had to flee. They had to walk through the forest to Abidjan, and they're sure George is worried now. He cannot get to them. So they're looking for even a place to lodge and try and contact George Weah. We got in touch with George. He sent down money, and by then I hadn't met him before. So I spoke to him on the phone, on and on, until I went to Abidjan. Then eventually I went to France. By then I hadn't even met George. We just speak on the phone. So when Ofueboahin, the then president of Ivory Coast, passed away, he loved football so much. So they organized an African 11 and against the Africans playing in Europe, and I was part of the team to play in honor of Ofueboahin. So that was my first encounter with George Weah. I don't remember when, but it was I think in 91 or so, if I'm not mistaken. So that was when I met George Weah. So since then we became very close. He's lived in my house couple of times when he comes down. And he's